Thanks for staying with us. So this morning we're discussing about the spiritual aspect of the Aso Villa. And this I'm referencing Mr. Reuben Abati's article of 2016. You can Google it, The Guardian. I can even tell you where it is, The Guardian, where he was sharing with us his experience living in the villa. And the reason why this is important, because we mentioned it yesterday and we kind of laughed over it. But the truth is that it's important for someone like a Reuben Abati to write an article such as this. It's worth looking at a second time. Let me give you a few excerpts from, according to, let me paraphrase a bit. So he was saying that when at the time he was given an apartment within the villa to live in, and he was going to move there with his family and his children, and then a pastor came in there to stay with them just to pray. And the pastor said that lots of sacrifices have been made in the villa, that somebody always loses something in the villa once you come in. So even he experienced it, that he was telling the pastor was saying that there'll be a fire that would happen and that lots of things will be destroyed, that he needs to be careful, that he and his family should not stay in the villa. Because if they do, something dies. And according to him, according to what Reuben Abati was saying, that I thought the man was talking nonsense. And then he wanted to stay in a luxury hotel. But he turned out to be right. The day I hosted family members in that apartment in the villa, they slept overnight. There was indeed a fire accident and guests escaped and almost died. Not long after, the president's physician living 2 compounds away had a fire accident and also almost lost his life. According to him, he said that I can confirm that every principal officer suffered one tragedy or the other. It was as if you needed to sacrifice something to remain on duty inside the villa. Even some of the women became merchants of dildo because they had suffered a special kind of death in their homes. The men also complained about something died beneath their belts. The ones who did not have such misfortune had one ailment or the other that they had to nurse. From cancer to brain, prostate surgery, and whatever. The villa was a hospital full of agonizing patients. That's according to Reuben Abati. Okay. This was 2016. Now, so when we're discussing the demons of the Aso Villa, it's not because we're just saying it out of the blue. Somebody who had lived in there is telling us that it is a possibility, and the conversation is, what do we do going forward? This new president-elect coming into Aso Villa, would we advise he goes into Aso Villa, or would we advise he finds somewhere outside Aso Villa and lead the nation from outside the villa? That's the conversation this morning. What are your thoughts? You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Obiajulu, what are your thoughts on this? Because this is about 7 years ago, right? Yeah. It's not so long ago. So I'm not sure if the demons have left, if they're still there, we don't know. But the point is, I mean, I don't know anybody that lives in the villa now, so I don't know if it is still the same thing. What are your thoughts on this article?
So I wish he went ahead to tell us that maybe the demon whispers to leaders not to do what they're supposed to do, you know. But the story is all about what happens to you personally, tragedies, accidents, which happens to every other person on the streets. People have their demons. People have their tragedies. Somebody just lost a child in a school. Somebody lost a child before in a pool, in a school. Somebody, you know, accidents happen. Things happen to human beings all around. When it's your turn, you will collect one share or the other. There was a time rain fell in Alagbado, my roof. In fact, it was raining inside my house. There was a time I had an accident. My car it was just the grace of God that made me survive. And I'm not in Aso Villa. So that's conversation should not even, you know, yesterday we were playing when we said, yes, of course, there are demons and all that, but that is not a conversation that we should look side by side with leadership. Because when it comes to leadership, and I'm sure if other countries would tell you how they felt some spirits in their homes and their villas and their government's houses, we will all have the same stories side by side. Because these things happen when you gather a lot of people together, they come in with their different energies, and then some things will be seeping out, you're noticing some things, you're feeling some type of way, some certain days, but that shouldn't stop leadership.
But okay, so
that shouldn't stop you from being competent and doing what you're supposed to do when it comes to your work.
We'll come to competence in a second. I wanted to just deal with the fact that could it be true? Let me give you another part of this article, and I'll come to you, Nima. He said, and I quote, I recall the example of one particular man who was an asset to the Jonathan presidency, who practically ran away from the villa. He said he needed to save his life. He was quite certain that if he continued to hang around the villa, he would die. I can't talk about the colleagues who lost daughters, sons, brothers, uncles, mothers, fathers, and many obituaries that was issued. Now, so we'll discuss leadership in a minute, if it affects their work. But the demon, the possible demon spiritual that is somewhat in Aso Villa, do you think that it's something that is scary for us to warn the president-elect and his family not to enter so that they can lead Nigeria properly?
Before we go to leadership, we'll talk about some circumstances and happenstances and things that happened in the villa. So I recall from Obasanjo's time in 1999, and people will be talking that, that Aso Villa, all the military leaders that were there, they were heartless, and that if you were not, as you're going as a democratic leader, something will give. And all the plane crashes that happened during Obasanjo's time was because he was in the Aso Villa. It was Omori. Telling you, these were the conversations.
This is private.
If we're not careful,
Jehovah. Brown, I said Brown.
Insensitive in this conversation. But this conversation we must have. Because I understand BC, I'm Muslim, and everything is destined. And these are conversations that I have heard people have till my adult age about leaders and their time in the Aso Villa. So I have not read in detail, except maybe the headline, first paragraph of Reuben Abati's article on this. In fact, when I decided not to finish it because I am Muslim. But the gist I'm giving you. Later on, this person that we had this conversation talked about Stella Obasanjo's death and the surgery. And I kept wondering, and he said, Shibi, you see Yaradua too. He died. You know, that place.
Why didn't he lose anybody? Why didn't he lose anybody?
But he almost lost his son. The accident was life-threatening as well. He said that place is not for the weak. It's not for the faint-hearted. He said even if Wari's illness, they said they blow AC.
Hey, Nima.
I'm coming there.
Nima. Blow AC.
It was blown through the AC. That's why he felt sick. I kept saying, no, but this man is old. Maybe he had prostrates, you know, the regular old sickness. He said, Nima, don't be arguing this matter. One funny, you know, and these were some things that, you know, even in my balance of judgment, I sort of thought about them three to four times more. What is happening?
But now,
and so this, they said that there's this way they come in there, and one I agree with, because power corrupts. When you sit on top of one kind of seat and you say, I'm no more this me. I am now powerful. There's the ability, or there's the possibility that you will do good, or depending on your own level of empathy and your sincerity, your fear.
Depending on who you
are.
But
do you think
that place?
So that is the Aso Villa as a home, and saying if the first family elect will probably go in there, and if they do, what would you advise? Now we still come to the ability to lead in the second, but what would you advise, BC? I mean, what do you think that the family elect should do before entering the villa? I mean, do you need sanctification? Do you need holy water? Do you need what kind of prayers? I mean, and should Nigerians start praying? Those of you who actually voted for this man to lead, maybe it's time for you to start praying and say, as he's entering the villa, let the spirit of villa not go and turn things around for them. What are your thoughts on? Do you think you start invoking some spiritual help on this?
So if they actually believe that there's something in the villa, I think they should do something. But you see, you cannot live above or beyond your beliefs. Some people will get into that villa because they believe nothing is there. Nothing will happen to them. Okay? But if the president-elect and his family believe that the way we've heard stories about this villa, it's possible we will get there now and some things will begin to start affecting us. Then they must do what I call a cleansing. And it may not even be like a spiritual cleansing, so to speak. It could just be cleaning out energy. Just ensuring that every thought that you have is positive. Ensuring that you go in there with your own culture. And that's also if you have your own personal culture. So if, for instance, in your home or in your other leadership positions, you have instilled excellence, that this is how we go. We do things right. We do this. You must insist on it when you get into the villa, that this is the way we go. No matter what anybody says, we are going to follow this right and right and right and right. If you are a spiritual person, like a religious person who believe that I need to come and do a form of, washing of head, bathing in the river, or, getting prayer warriors to come and kabash and all of that, whatever you believe in, you should go there with your prayer warriors and let them pray and sanctify. So
we need like a pastor of MFM right now to start praying towards it and start planning what you do for deliverance in that. So
if
that's
you believe in that.
Now let's talk about the seat of power, the president-elect. Because they're saying that once they enter that villa, this is that Aso is saying, President-elect, please make sure education is priority. People are saying, ensure that we have jobs for young people. There's a lot of demands and requests, a lot of asks for our new president-elect. You see that when he now enters that seat of power, something just turns around. Because this man, one of the reasons why many people voted for him was because of the examples of what he did in Lagos. So they're expecting him to do even better, much more. And now enters Aso Rock. And then some spiritual thing now turns everything around. How can we prevent? What do you think we can do?
Someone like him, I'm rested. I'm not worried. Because he's a master planner. He's someone who drafts out a plan. That's how he was in Lagos. Having a plan. So finding the people.
So you shouldn't have that plan in Aso Rock. You should have the plan before
Aso Rock Gongo, you should have the plan before he goes there. Because what happened in President Buhari's first term was that everything was not consistent. He did not have a plan. Because ministers were not ready in 6 months. They were just planning things. But there was a body language. And we used that one to drag and carry everything till he fell sick. So we don't want a body language. We want an actual plan. And I think when you have an actual plan, something you have written out, people like BC who are coaches have always advised that if you want something done, you write it down. And don't be like me that don't write it down.
Must he stay in Aso Villa, Nima? Must he stay in Aso Villa?
He has to.
Constitutionally, must he?
Why does he have to stay at the defense house now? Because he's no longer his own person. He's now the property of the country. Taxpayers' monies will be used to provide for him. His security is the number one citizen. Everything that comes with the office he has to get. So the Aso Villa, unfortunately, was built by some military head who was a heartless dictator. So we say the person brought the demon that was there.
The heartless demon that is there.
That is there. Okay. But he has to have a master plan, something that guides him, something that he checks every day and says, have I done this, have I done this?
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll open our phone lines and get some messages and hear what Nigerians think about the demons in Aso Villa. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the demons, the alleged demons in Aso Rock. You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So some of you may recall our president's wife, Aisha Buhari, is hardly in this villa. She's in Dubai, I'm told. She spends most of her time in Dubai. Some of her alleged is because of these same spiritual forces that are not allowing her to have peace in the villa. Because remember how many fights she used to have in the villa. Even there were issues of altercations which she had within the villa. Even the former president, Jonathan, we had different things that happened during his period. So what can be done to cleanse Aso Villa? Or can they even totally destroy it and rebuild from scratch? Or this new president-elect, would we advise him to find somewhere else to lead from, not to enter Aso Villa if there are so many evil spirits waiting for him and his family?
Sometimes it's what you know that cannot harm you. So they've said it, that they are there. How do you go in? First,
let me pause you for a second. I have Kunle, he's been holding and he said he doesn't have much credit. Mr. Kunle, are you there?
Hello, ma.
You're live.
Yeah, ma. Good morning, ma.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You people there in that studio, ma, and your program, you will remain blessed forever, ma.
Amen.
So,
God will lift you up more than your expectation, ma.
Amen. Amen.
For this topic you brought this morning, ma, I was the one that called you yesterday. Raise this issue, ma.
Okay.
Please, ma, this is your program today. Go and write it down. It will be an hero for Asiwaju's presidency. Go and write it down, ma. Let me tell you this, ma. I am not a pastor. I am not a far. But God created, He gave every one of us His grace that is living inside us. So, let me tell you, if that Aso Villa in this Nigeria should remain the seat of power, where the policies of government will be coming out. Forget about the progress of this country, man. Entirely. Go and write it down today, man.
Wow.
If your system will not cut me off, let me tell you my experience, man. I'm not supposed to say this, but I will say it out today because of this your program, man. Before God and man, I'm a Muslim. In 2015, man, the moment President Buhari became the winner of that election, man, before God and man, before he was moved to Aso Villa, when he was in that defense house, I hear a voice, man, telling me that go and tell that man, if that man wants to succeed in his government, tell him not to live inside the Aso Rock in a second, not to talk of 1 minute. That is the first message. The second one was that he should go and call all the Association of Economists and hand over Nigerian economy on them. Do you know what, man? I borrowed my wife's Android by then, 2015. So go and send that message to you and deliver the message through President Buhari's Facebook and Twitter handle. I copied that Facebook number through the television. You know, by that time, they pasted his Facebook number and the Twitter handle on the NCA by that time. That's where I copied from. I sent that message. Anytime I was able to meet Mr. Adesina, if I tell him that experience, man, the man he doesn't catch it at all. Let me tell you, Reuben Abati, he confirmed that message, man. That yes, there's something inside that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kunle.
Let me add to that. So we will not deny that there are strongholds everywhere. Even if we go to the scriptures where I remember Daniel was praying and then God answered his prayers, but then there were demons that stood, demons of that area that held down the prayers. And he was like, I've prayed. God said, I've answered you since, so you need to go and sort out these people. Clear them from the road. So even for a prophet who had access to God directly can still withstand or can still have demons hold the prayer. So there are strongholds everywhere. And I know that with success, any form of success comes evil eyes on you at every level. I have seen people around me who just got small position in their office, small position. The attacks, the battles they had to fight. Thankfully, some of them were strong in what they believed in and they were able to come out of it. And some people sometimes will just say, I'm not taking this position again before I die here. Let me just go and become an ordinary human being. But the thing about this matter is some people already know what to expect. Some people are already strong. They know that I want to get into this.
They're fortified.
They're fortified. That's the word. Thank you. I'm going to fortify myself because anything can come. So
do you think our president-elect is fortified?
I want to believe that he's fortified. So. He is a politician. He has been a politician for a very long time. And I have that kind of place. He's not empty-handed. He is fortified. But if now, following precedent and people's stories, we're beginning to see that actually there are strongholds in that place that if care is not taken, it may derail you. A president can say, I don't want to stay here. It's okay. Yeah. And get a smaller place and stay.
Exactly. For the time being.
To the house for work, and then I go home. I don't sleep there. My family doesn't stay there. A president can actually say that.
I'm really hoping so that with this conversation, I'm bringing back this article, for those of us that are really hoping for a new Nigeria, I'm really hoping that this new presidency won't bring Nigeria forward. Maybe it would be a good advice that he should reconsider staying in Aso Rock. I don't know what you think, because maybe it's an advice for us to tell him that you can lead the nation from a small house.
Small place.
Stay there, have your meetings there. Until Aso Villa, you can have them redo Aso Villa.
Renovate.
I don't think it will be such an easy decision. Because he already has a residence in Abuja. He's not a poor man. He's a Shiwaju now. And so buying or owning a property in Abuja is not easy. It's easy for him. But I don't think it will be easy for him to just decide to the people of Nigeria that he will not stay in the residence provided by the
we will not
country.
Stop him if he says
because to rule this country is not from your pockets easy. It's something that, the country provides what you used to.
Let me take Yakuba. Come to you after you, Nima. Yakuba, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Morning.
Yeah, and okay, good morning. And then
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
For me, Ojo Gatiko Tokati, I think Nima or probably Morayo will understand this profile. Ojo Gati, Professor Nigi Gati means that 1999, if you look at all the people who are present that occupy that very particular place, one thing and the other it has happened to them. Maybe by fluke or by anything, but we are always say that demon is there and all that. But what I want to say is this: if it is by law, if law allows president-elect to choose where to stay, why not? Why not? Apart from that, let me even eat you this. If it's some big politician now, they will be needing to go to the president. They are not going there with ordinary hands, ordinary face, because they are looking for something. Some people don't need Mr. President because he's looking for contract. They will not go there for free. They will go there with some certain things that me and you don't know. It is only God Almighty allows to send president-elect, and then I believe it is a prayer person. I know that he knows what to do. I don't have that. I have that very strong in my mind. He knows what to do because he's not a small man. He's not a small guy. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. So the president-elect is a Muslim. His wife is a Christian. We're hoping that they both have forces from their own area. Do they need a third force?
I'm sure they have already.
You mean
Like a traditional.
I'm just asking for a third force. Do they need a third force?
No, these
I
two
think they
people
have.
are not ordinary Nigerians. They've been in governance before. They've had 8 years in a government house. They know what they need to do.
They know what they need to do.
They know what they need to do.
Okay.
But I don't think that the president-elect can just decide that he won't be governing the country from Aso Rock, just like that. But he can have a strategy not to be separated from his level of the person that that can hold you down.
Yes.
You can have, not like, we know President Buhari did not live in one residence with his wife. That was an issue because the videos that showed when she was having issues with his nephew who returned during COVID. And
I have to wrap up.
Just something small. There's also a reason why they say we must pray for our leaders. Because they are fighting numerous battles. They will fight inwardly, they will fight outwardly, and there are a lot of attacks that will be coming. People, cabals who want their will to be done, and the president is saying, no, this is for the people, those ones will be firing. The people on one side are shouting, they're firing. We must uphold our leaders with prayer, so that they are able to.
All right, we have to wrap up on that, but also those of you that are doing everything to enter Aso Villa, like, the president, I want to go and do this, go and live in Aso Villa. Hold yourself. Don't, they are rushing to go and live in Aso Villa. I know the president, I want to get an apartment.
Go your side.
Please be spiritually fortified.
I'm telling you.
Before you enter Aso Villa.